people attacked you and said that's too weak, and there was some booing when you started answering about the golden rule foreign policy. But then, when you said bring the troops home, everybody started cheering. So I'm wondering, why is there such a division where it seems like many people are really eager to do this, others have reservations, and how can you convince people that it really is in our best interest to trim down action overseas?
Actually, it's very good, because as we recognize, that is the prime function of the government, to provide a strong national defense. A strong national defense isn't provided when we become the policemen of the world, where we get involved in the internal affairs of other nations, or whether we would change government, have regime changes. That, I think, undermines our national defense, and we get involved in wars that aren't declared. We don't know why we're there. We don't know when they're over, and then they just pursue. Then they had this grand debate last night on, should we talk to the Taliban or should we talk to the Taliban? Well, we should have done this debating 10 years ago. Really? And that's what I what they like to do is describe what I'm talking about as isolationism. And it's a term deliberately made to make it sound bad, because isolationism sounds like, oh, you don't want to talk to the world, trade with the world, or get along with the world. And it's really exactly the opposite. Isolationism is more people who want trade barriers, walls around us, you can't go and come, and put sanctions on other countries. Those same individuals that complain about my foreign policy of being non-intervention, they're the ones who are the very first to put on sanctions. Oh, sanctions are important. But sanctions are an act of war. Can you imagine if a country put sanctions on us and wouldn't allow oil to come in? That would be an act of war. That's why I bring up this subject of the golden rule. If we don't want people to ban oil imports to our country, why should we do that to another country? I don't know why that is such a negative term for people to do that and say, oh yeah, the golden rule is really bad. But you know, the golden rule isn't a Christian principle. It is a Christian principle, but it's more than that. If you look at the 6 or 7 large religions on the history of the world, in one way or another, they recognize this whole idea that you treat people the way you want to be treated. And this idea that you can't do that unless they're perfect. Well, I don't think we should do it until we're perfect. And that was